This video presents abstract or executive summary for a research proposal. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to write the abstract of your research project. You may hear me saying executive summary interchangeably with an abstract. There are differences between these two terminologies and also some similarities. Okay, so what is an executive summary? An executive summary is a thorough overview of a research report or research proposal that synthesizes key points for its readers, saving them time and preparing them to understand the study's overall content. It is a separate stand-alone document of sufficient detail and clarity to ensure that the reader can completely understand the contents of the main research study. An executive summary is normally prepared for policy makers or funding providers, whereas for an abstract is normally written for an academic purpose. So what is the purpose of an abstract? Is to summarize the major aspects of the research or to describe what specifically you are doing and not the topic your project is based upon. And remember that one will read the rest of the content of the paper or the report if they find your abstract is interesting. When writing abstract, it has to be short and sweet. Do not use abbreviations or references within the abstract. Though this is placed on the first page of the paper or report, it should be written last. This is because it should summarize the content of the study and it should reflect the entire content of the paper. It is easier to write the abstract as the last activity as it tends to flow smoothly after completing the writing of the entire content of the paper. The abstract should be structured according to the following sections. It has to include background and purpose, methods, results, conclusions or discussions, and sometimes requirement by a journal to include the implications to practice, and do not forget to include a list of keywords from the study. So, in the background section, you must write an introduction about why the study is essential and needs to be reported, or whether the study is the first report in the literature and how does it add to the literature. In the purpose section, you must state clearly the measurable purpose or the research questions. In the method sections, you must state the study design, the populations of participants. You may include the eligibility criteria, age and also gender of the participants, the setting and time frame of the study, the baseline, pre and post-test data collections, the primary and secondary outcomes, interventions or exposures, as well as data analysis. In the results sections, you must report the participants' enrollment, baseline characteristics of the participants, findings based on the objectives or the research questions, and also report the p-values for positive findings. In the conclusions, conclude your findings briefly based on the objective and supported with the data in the results. Any limitations stated in this section must be supported by the data in the results. Identify any teaching points and try to avoid suggesting future research. In the implications for practice, write the clinical impact of the findings of the study. The general rules regarding tenses usage in the abstracts are to use present tense while stating general facts, past tense when writing about prior research, past tense when stating results or observations, present tense when stating the conclusions or interpretations, present tense when referring to the study or the paper. Ideally, the number of words is between 250 to 300 words, but it also depends on the requirements of the institutions or the report or the journal. Include not more than 5 keywords, and again it depends on the requirements of the journal. For example, you can include the term randomized control trial or RCT as one of the keywords if the study is based on an RCT study design. The keywords should represent the main contents of the article, and they are important for indexing and facilitate online retrieval. Okay, so this is an example of an executive summary. So an executive summary for a research proposal normally contains slightly less than the sections that is described in the completed studies abstract. Okay, so normally for an executive summary, for example, if you are applying for a research grant, or if you want to convince someone that your idea is impactful, you must write the background of the study or the context of the study, the objective of the study, the methods of the study, and the expected output, and how does this output will be significant to any policy, or why does the funders may award you with the money, the grant for you to conduct the research. Okay, so these are two examples of abstract that is normally written after you complete your research project, or if you were to publish your research in any of the journals. So normally you will find that when you want to write a manuscript, you must check the format of the journal. Okay, so sometimes they provide a very guided way of writing an abstract, okay, or very structured way of writing an abstract. You have to follow exactly each one of the sections in the abstract. Some journals, they say that the arrangement of the abstract is unstructured, but again, even if it is unstructured, you still have to follow the routine of writing an abstract. That is, it must have a few sections. You always start with what is the objective of the study. You describe the methods of the study, and you report the results of the study, and then you conclude the findings. And always remember to list the keywords from the study. And last, you need keywords in your abstracts. Keywords are a tool to help indexers and search engines find relevant papers. If database search engines can find your journal manuscript, readers will be able to find it too. These will increase the number of people reading your manuscript and likely lead to more citations. However, to be effective, keywords must be chosen carefully. They should represent the content of the manuscript or the paper. It has to be specific to the field or subfield, and also check with MESH whether the keywords that you have selected is available in MESH. You can see the earlier examples of the two journal articles, the keywords that is available in the abstract. And with that, thank you very much for your attention.